Exactly. Good morning or good afternoon and welcome. If you are just joining us, go ahead and type your name and your location into the chat. And I'm going to give us about 2 more minutes to get started here to welcome folks, and then we'll go ahead and get started. And I keep saying morning, even though I've been up since, I've been up for about 7 hours now, I guess. Awesome. We've got Qing. Is that how I pronounce your name? Is it Qing or Qing?
Qing. Mm-hmm.
Qing. Okay. We've got Qing Yang from Task Up Coworking in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We've got Talyn Good from Cowork Waldo in Kansas City. Welcome, Talyn, and congratulations to your new occupation, moving from coworking member to coworking owner and operator. And we have Liz Elam from GCUC in Austin, Texas, Katharine Chestnut from Alkaloid Networks in Atlanta, Georgia, and Cynthia in Horizon West, which is adjacent to Walt Disney World. Welcome, everyone. And if you're still joining us, I see Daryn from Satellite. I see Tara. Go ahead and drop your name and your location into the chat, and we'll just give everybody just 1 more minute, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Who has come? I'm waiting on Katharine from San Mateo. So many names in my head right now, but I'm waiting on Katharine from San Mateo, who is the inspiration for this call today and this discussion today. And she has done a fair amount of research, so I know she's going to be joining us. Who else has brought some research with them today? Anybody? Anybody? Show of hands. Okay, Talyn is having audio issues, but you can hear us. And hopefully I'm spelling or pronouncing your name correctly there, Talyn. And I'm just going to jump over to Juicy while we're over to Facebook while we're letting everybody jump in and see if anybody's having problems logging in today.
Oh, yay. Thank you, honey. Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Hi.
Hi.
Is that Talyn? Yes, we can.
Katie, hi.
Oh, Katie. Hi, Katie. There she is. Great. Perfect.
Sorry about that.
I was just
a little.
Oh no, it's okay. I was just heading over to Facebook to see if anybody, including you, was having any time or a hard time getting in today.
Well, the discussion for the event has been turned off, so even if we wouldn't be able to post there and tell you that we're having trouble getting in.
The discussion was turned off, huh?
Yeah.
Huh. In the group or in the Facebook page?
The Facebook page events page. Anyway.
Wow.
For the event itself.
Okay.
Ours.
Right. Okay. Thanks, you guys. I don't know when that happened, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't Laura or I, so we'll go over and see what's going on. Well, Katie, so I was just telling everybody that we are, that you were the impetus for this call. And so we've had everybody drop their name and their location over here into chat. And if you want to go ahead and do that, and then I think it would be great if you introduced yourself, and we'll go ahead and get started learning. And I know that you've done some background research into the different options available to us. So as you're talking, I am going to go open up that chat on the page, and then I'm also going to drop the links into this chat for the different resources that we started with, and then I know you have also put together a list of links as well.
Right. So I went ahead and so in the chat I can see something from Cynthia Dailey, and also how to pronounce Talyn's name, but I don't see where people are and where people are from. But I can introduce myself. So hello everybody. I'm Katie Carlin, and I run a co-working space with childcare in San Mateo, California, just south of San Francisco, about 20 miles. We have a lot of space in San Mateo that I'm currently trying to figure out how we're going to pay for so that we can keep operating. One of the things that I did immediately was go and lobby all the small businesses around me in San Mateo to get together and co-sponsor a letter to our city council saying we need emergency relief and we need a moratorium on evictions for small businesses. And we found out last night that that passed. So I'm feeling a little less scared because rent is due on the 1st and I'm not exactly sure how we're going to pay that or if we have to or how any of us are expected to pay for our spaces. And thank you again, Iris, for the call that we had about landlords and dealing with landlords. If anybody hasn't seen that and wants to, it's really, really well worth looking at the video recording. So I compiled, I basically took a lot of different resources that we have, that we've seen floating around. One is from Gusto. There are a lot of them about how to access small business funding and tried to put together an unoverwhelming document for us. So I can see a bunch of us are in that document already. Everybody right now has edit permissions, but you know, be careful. Be careful with how you use them. What else did I want to tell you? Oh, and I wanted to tell you that the reason that I decided to lead this charge was because I was finding it totally overwhelming to deal with this stuff, and I find it personally motivating to take a leadership position when I don't want to deal with something as a way of holding my feet to the fire. So yeah, there's that too. So I welcome everybody's feedback and comments and jump in. And I just want to start, not to take over from you, Iris, but there is something that I think I can draw our attention to right now as a focus, which is this small business disaster relief. Do we want to introduce ourselves too? I don't know how many people are on this call.
So we currently have 11 participants,
Okay.
and I think it would be better if since we do have introductions here, and I know that one of the issues with Zoom is that you only see the chat from the moment that you enter, but we did have everybody go ahead and do an introduction here, so that will be saved in the chat when I save the chat.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and go with those introductions. However, if you decide to make a comment or ask a question, do please do a quick introduction of your space and your name, your space, and where you are located. And so, Katie, so you're looking at grants.
So I'd like to direct everybody to, I believe, so the emergency help for small businesses spreadsheet has 3 different sheets. One is like our main area where we're sort of analyzing what's available and just providing some kind of, I think people are changing this, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so let's go to the sheet 1, the Small Business Association Economic Injury Disaster Loans. So those are, that use of loan is for working capital, obviously. But the thing that was sort of exciting is I talked to somebody from the Small Business Administration this morning, and she asked if I had applied, and I said, you know, actually the website is down temporarily for maintenance, and she said, yeah, it's not temporary and it's not maintenance, we're totally overwhelmed. But she said that there was a group out of Chicago called like Women Doing Business in Chicago that had put together a checklist so that you can kind of get all your ducks in a row for when they do actually come up for air with the kind of staffing that they need to handle the influx of interest and applications. So that's column J on the spreadsheet. Also column K, if anybody wants to open that up, it looks like a really nice guide for walking us through this process. So I would say that one of the things that we could do in a follow-up call is we could have, you know, we could work individually to look at these checklists and these applicant guides and then get back together on a call and talk about like whether any of us are stuck anywhere, how we're dealing with this, like, you know, whether any of us is making any progress on this front. But that does look like assistance specifically to help small businesses. There's also, you know, really quick money. If you look at row 5, the stimulus by Womply. It's only $1,000, but it looks like it comes pretty quickly. And then we're looking at, in terms of immediate relief, we all have until July 15th individually and for businesses to file taxes. This all kind of happened right after the deadline for filing. So maybe a lot of us have already filed our March 15th deadline taxes, but if not, it looks like we have a bit of a reprieve. And then if we also look at, we can also look state by state on the tab called State by State. I didn't compile this. There's a group called Coworking Resources. I just stole it from them, but I did credit them. But so those of us who are in different states, we can look at our own states and see what's going on. And hopefully that'll be—
Can I ask you a quick question? People want to be able to add to this document. Would you prefer that they do so on another tab, or how would you like them to add to it? What would make the most sense from an organizational standpoint?
I would say we should create a new tab in the sheet called community edits, and people can add there, and then we can we could sort of filter those into sheet 1 to make sure that all the formatting is right and we're not getting a lot of redundancy. But if you all know what you're doing and you're certain that it's going to be helpful, you can go with confidence. You can feel free to make edits that'll be helpful to everybody.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah, if too much gets in there and it's not verified, if you have too much information, it's not helpful because then you feel like you're reading through it.
Yeah. Exactly. So has anybody actually started the process of applying for these loans or grants?
I have from Philadelphia.
Hi.
And hi. So I just dropped a link there. That's the actual form that was shared by the government. By Philadelphia, it's a small business relief fund. So depending on the size and in size in terms of revenue for your business, you can get anywhere from $5,000 in grant or even up to $25,000 in grant. And then there's also zero interest loans, anywhere from $25,000 to $100,000. Except the process is really long. I started on the application. I couldn't finish it yet because they ask about a lot of information down to dollars and cents, what is it that you're lacking in and how your business is affected.
So, and is this Pennsylvania specific?
This is part of Pennsylvania, but it's Philadelphia that's releasing this form. So I can only speak for Philadelphia. I don't know as a Pennsylvania state, if they are offering the same, or more or less.
And I think this is a really good point. So I read an update from my city council last night that they are making $10,000 loans available to our small businesses, but I haven't seen that in the news anywhere. And so if you are not in close contact with a council member in your city, I highly encourage you to do that. And the way that I found mine was through Instagram, right? She had an Instagram account. She was great. I messaged her. She messaged right back. And she was an advocate and a cheerleader for our plan, and she got it through. So now is a really good time to figure out who your local leaders are, and if they're terrible, consider taking their jobs.
I also have a connection with this is a group, this is an organization called the Enterprise Group, and they specifically help out small business owners. So they also sent over some, links for grants and loans applications that small business owners can fill out. They have direct contact with the city and the state. So I've been receiving information from them as well. So that's helpful. But yeah, you're right. It's good to know someone who is in charge of, approving these kind of things. So, yeah.
So my district, I'm in Atlanta, my District 2 city councilman actually hosted a town hall yesterday afternoon for small businesses. A lot of the focus was around Invest Atlanta's grant, business relief grant that's been put forth. I added that before you said not to, so sorry about that. But he's actually really good about reaching out to the community. He's actually having another one at 5 o'clock today for the residents in his district, which I'm one of those as well. However, in addition to that, like that was an email that was sent out from him to the district people, and I know him very well. He was actually the one that supported the Atlanta Coworking Day proclamation that I got done last August. So go Amir. But in addition to that, the local neighborhood business association has been really helpful. In fact, they have a whole page that lists all of the resources that are available to small businesses, including the SBA loan, plus any local or, county or city. So I would say if you have a local business association, that's a great place to go look as well. I mean, mine's really good. I don't know about everybody else's, but mine's been really helpful and proactive in reaching out to the community.
That's really good to hear. I'm glad for you.
Doesn't mean I got any money yet.
But I think like we have to, I feel like everybody's really stressed and really scared, and some days are great and some days are just not great, right? Like some days I feel powerful and like I'm going to be out ahead of this, and some days I just feel like, oh my God, like I can't, right? But on the days that we're feeling good, it's nice to remember that, we are women founders, we are women in business, and there are a lot of people who do want to help us succeed. And we're really kind of working for ourselves, for each other, and for a next generation of women business leaders. So I think that we need to really, try to rest when we need to, but also kind of keep focused on what we're doing because it's important.
Very well said, Katie. And, so we've obviously got to stop hemorrhaging. I know we're all, sending out our billing this week and seeing the cancellation requests coming back. My inbox is currently bouncing with cancellation requests. And, we're gonna have some it's going to be a bumpy road for a while, as Benjamin said the other day. But I also I want to continue to remind you, those of us who opened during the time of the last financial crisis, literally some of us opened our doors in the midst of it. And people were pouring in those doors in the midst of a financial crisis, getting laid off and coming and joining the next day so that they could go to work and feel like they were at work, and so that they could have a place to network. And that was before anybody knew what co-working was. And we were in the newspaper, like every other week, there was a newspaper article talking about Next Space within our local community. And I was giving, sometimes one day I gave 15 tours in one day. We were signing up people by the dozens every week. So, and this is like 3 days after Lehman Brothers collapsed. So this is a different time because we're all, being required to be shut-ins, and so things will look different. But I promise that if we continue to build behind the scenes our businesses, and in front of the scenes our communities online, people will be coming back, and we will emerge stronger and more successful. And yes, Katie, as females in business and as women, leaders of women in business, we do have a responsibility right now to find this funding for ourselves so that we can continue to support our members and support the efforts around female entrepreneurship across the globe that have been growing exponentially over the past couple of years.
Yes, and building on that, and something that I'd be happy to share, and another document, is I'm looking to communicate with investors, with angel investors, institutional, though not right now. VC isn't really interested right now. They're kind of circling the wagons and protecting their own portfolio companies. But this is going to lead to an exponential growth in working from home, right? So we are all really well positioned if we can stay afloat to capitalize on this shift as businesses need to downsize, because everybody's going to need to downsize, and as they realize that people can work from home, and like your business doesn't fall apart if you aren't hosting a huge office yourself. So those of us who can really be scrappy and stick in with this, I think will be rewarded for that, within a matter of months, I expect.
Hey, I've actually been thinking about this as well. From a standpoint of my plan was in a few months to start talking about expansion. And I even had some emails and calls teed up before shit went down. And I'm wondering now, like, is this a really good time to do that? So that those of us who already have spaces can get into the newer markets, or the markets that don't have any spaces, I don't know. I guess I'm just thinking about like timeline. I want to get to, my plan is to expand to suburban markets, starting with other suburbs in Chicago. It's like, maybe I should put out those feelers now and say, hey, this is going to have a moment and I'm here and want to talk to you about it. Or maybe we wait a few weeks because everyone's kind of in triage mode right now. But I don't really have a question or anything like that. I just wanted to share that that's been on my mind as well. So thank you for bringing it up.
I'm wondering if there might be opportunities to partner up with spaces that maybe aren't going to weather the storm as well as you might be able to, Jen. So, maybe there's another space out there that you've had your eye on, just you like the way they do business, whatever. Maybe this is a good time to reach out and authenticate some of those relationships and say, hey, don't know what the future looks like, but what would a partnership look like? I mean, I can see a time in the future where two spaces need to combine forces and move both of those communities into one space, or find ways to share resources like we've always kind of chatted around before, but for real. Just a thought.
Yeah, if anybody wants to live next to Disney World, talk to me. Would love to partner with someone else and grow bigger.
I agree. And we can talk about, I think we should talk about this separately, but all of us together are a lot stronger than little tiny places everywhere. I mean, not to call anybody's space tiny. I don't actually know who I'm talking to, but.
Yeah, we're only 2,500 square feet. So we're starter space, but we're 5 years old. And
wow, that's great.
It's the fastest growing master planned area in like the nation or something. So you'd have to look at the exact thing, but huge growth.
Cynthia, my family loves Disney, so I'm open to that chat.
I had a quick question. What about our chances of getting funding as a co-working space? So I'm an established 12-year business LLC, and my members, right, are small solo practitioners. Some of them are solo providers, like as therapists and body workers. So they're all concerned because they're like, we're not going to be eligible for any funding as solo providers, because even like the freelance and the solos, they're like even more vulnerable. And so what I was wondering is, can I, as an entity, umbrella, get the funding so that I am actually able to do the rent relief? Or could you put that in your application that you're responsible for providing rent relief for your tenants? Or I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about how to add this support to my tenants, because if I could get this relief, then I could give them all back their April memberships.
Where are you located?
In Austin.
Yeah, I would definitely go to your city council, because you're a community leader there. I would definitely do that.
Yeah, because it's going to impact like so many different health and wellness practitioners who don't have insurance, who can't work because some of them are body workers. So they're not even able to go online. They're all really nervous. And so I'm trying to figure out how not only am I saving my own self, but I'm like for the community's sake, and how staying a member of Somavita or staying connected right now instead of canceling all their memberships, like you stay active, you hang in there, and I'm going to get some funds for all of us. Like I'm doing this advocacy for us overall. So I don't know if other people are having those questions from their members, like asking if they're a resource to them for funding, or if they're all just kind of, I don't know, on their own, looking for their own funding.
I haven't
a
heard
great
that
idea,
myself,
Laura.
but I'm just gonna quickly, the new stimulus package that's been agreed to, but as of, I don't know, 2 hours ago, wasn't voted on, does have support for sole practitioners, freelancers. That was something that was really important to Democrats who are pushing back. So there are those protections. I do have a red line copy of that bill, and if you'd like to look at it, you might want to wait until it's actually voted on and passed. But I think you could have a call with your community for sure and actually walk them through the process of what it might be like to apply for funding.
Thank you.
So, Katie, it seems like what makes a lot of sense from this call is for us to individually go through the process of applying for some of these grants, and for those who are looking at loans for some of these loans, and then report in on what our experience is, and most likely see this meeting as sort of a start of a discussion, and then potentially have another meeting. We can do it on a couple-day rotation, or we could do it on a weekly rotation. Right now, I feel that we're looking at a couple of days because of A, the changing nature of the situation, but also B, just getting our business as a lifeline, right? And an immediate lifeline. What are your thoughts on that from leading this meeting, a leadership perspective for this meeting? And I apologize for the audio cues keep coming in on my computer here.
So I feel like what we need to do is kind of hold each other up a little bit. We should all take a little bit of time, maybe like an hour, and look at, what looks to be the most promising, or even just like the easiest way to get started on this for us individually, and take a crack at it, and then come back together again and talk about where we're at. And in this way we can kind of hold each other accountable to making progress on this, and we can also continue to pool resources. And I imagine at a certain point we're going to run into roadblocks, and some of us will figure out how to get through them, and we'll be able to help each other out. And I do agree with you that every couple days is probably I don't want to say every day, but every couple days probably. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I certainly would want to do that.
Okay. So I am happy to continue to set these calls up and, have them work on the Women Who Co-Work platform. Does this time, generally speaking, does this time work for everybody? Okay.
Our daily virtual co-working is a half hour before this, and it's an hour long. So I would love for it to be shifted by a half hour, but if that doesn't work for others, I understand.
Okay, East Coast friends, and I don't know if Mari is on this call right now or not. We were really looking to make sure that our East Coast people weren't having to work super late into the evening. And then, of course, our friends out in the Atlantic time zone as well. So let me just check in with them, and then it may be that we can bump this back to 12 o'clock. And I will put this on the calendar for Friday of this week, and for the next one, because let's see, today's Wednesday, right? Sometimes I don't really know what day it is, but I believe that today's Wednesday. So I'll put this on the calendar for Friday of this week, most likely 12 p.m. Pacific time. And we will then, we can take that hour, as Katie mentioned, and kind of each of us individually organize ourselves, and then get back together on Friday. Of course, all of these calls will be recorded and posted onto our YouTube channel so that they can be gone back and be watched again. And Katie says that her email address is katie@equalplay.space if anybody would like to reach out. Laura is also asking, could we add a column to the spreadsheet where we include the approximate time spent on the application? Some are more complex than others.
I think that's a really good idea.
I do as well.
Yeah, and that's not the only timing question. Like the other timing question, like how long is this application going to take? And also how long is it going to take to receive funds? And how long did it take to receive funds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can have a whole other timing. I'm not sure exactly, if somebody has a gift for organization, now would be a good time to speak up. Exactly.
Spreadsheet organization.
I think you've done a good job though already, Katie. This is good.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Can I ask?
I am not the gift for spreadsheet well, I can do it, but let's just say it doesn't take me just a couple of minutes like it does some spreadsheet whizzes.
Okay,
And yes,
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Thank you, Katie.
Can I ask if anybody's had any luck with, there are solutions out there for quick bridge loans that can get funded usually within a day or two, and then they have weekly payments that go back, that are probably not ideal with cash flow, but like to me, just having some padding makes me feel more comfortable, especially if some of this stuff requires time and thinking and filling it out, and then time for it to get processed and time for money to go back. And you can always pay those back early and they're pretty low interest, but I didn't know if anybody had experience with any of those other than like QuickBooks Capital or Blue Vine are the two I'm most familiar with.
I can't remember the one that I have experience with because I just was like, oh my God, this is so expensive. I looked at one like a couple of years ago that was similar to Blue Vine. What they don't tell you is there's a fee, and there's a fee, and then there's like the interest rates. And so when I looked at it, I was like, this is too much money. It's like too much.
The ones I've used, I felt like they were affordable. Okay. It's just that you pay them back aggressively.
Yeah.
So
this
it's
one was
really
actually
only good if you know there's funds coming and you just need it like a month sooner type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think you have to look at really closely at those, the small writing on those, because this one was, okay, you can pay it off, but you're still going to pay this chunk of this little extra fee up front. So got to look at those, but I don't know about QuickBooks. That might be, or PayPal.
Yeah. And I also saw, QuickBooks is trying to encourage people to do GoFundMes.
Are they going to fund us?
If you're, yeah.
Right. Like
if you're going to jump on a funding,
it's ridiculous because
nobody has any money.
I know. So I was like,
that's not true. There are people with money, but they're not going to be funding the GoFundMes.
No.
Seriously.
And honestly, yeah. And honestly, if you are, can I just say, having just completed a crowdfunding campaign, if you are going to do crowdfunding, please, please, please go over to iFund Women. Their entire platform is set up to support women just like us. And they have the best platform out there. They take you all the way through the entire program and guarantee that if you follow their program, I mean, it's not like a money back guarantee, but if you follow their program, you're going to get funded. And if they have coaching, they have so much support over there. So if you do decide to do a crowdfunding initiative, go with the platform that's set up to support female entrepreneurship.
Yeah. And Iris, did you see that they did a free sprint? It started Monday though. So they might do it again, but this is basically a free sprint. So it's all of their stuff that they usually charge you for free, but like in a really quick moment, but they're just trying to help you get set up in 1 week, where Iris and I took months to like get our platform set up, but they're just like doing speed dating basically. It's like, here, how can you get set up?
What is the URL for that?
Yeah.
I
would
actually
look out for them.
The URL is ifundwomen.com
/crowdfunding sprint. I actually didn't put this in the document because I've heard really negative things about it. And so I'm really surprised to hear from Laura and Iris that you guys had a great experience. In the female founders community that I'm a part of, it's sort of controversial. People feel like they spent a lot of money and didn't have a lot to show for it. So I actually I decided not to put it in our document. I'm glad you brought it up. I hope that that's wrong. Like, I would love for this to be what it promises to be.
How long ago did they use the platform, out of curiosity? Do you know?
You know, I don't know, but I know that I've seen the comments as recently as like 2 months ago.
Okay, so it's pretty, because I was going to say in the last year, they've really upped their offer, and they've tried to reduce their pricing. But you do have, I mean, they did work with us. We partnered with them, so we got some reductions. And on their video, and we did our own video and stuff like that. So you can spend a lot of money with them, or you can do more DIY kind of style. And maybe if people are doing it, it's like these sprints might be helpful because you're not actually spending money, but they really want their women to succeed, and they are there like hand holding, and you can call them all the time, and they were very accessible to us, like anytime we had a question. So yeah,
I mean, they were riding our tails. How's it going? You said you were going to get this done. You said you were going to do this. Are you doing this? I haven't seen this happen yet. I mean, it was quite amazing. I think what I learned is that your crowdfunding campaign success is all based on your network. And if you have a strong network who's financially viable, you're going to be more successful than if you don't. And you really have to put it's 12 hours of mapping out your network before you ever start your campaign. You literally go through every single person in your phone contact list, your Twitter list, every single person on the face of the earth that you know, and you write down in a spreadsheet how much you think that they will donate to your campaign. And then you call that person and you ask.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work. It's hours and hours and hours of work. And that is what it takes
paying
to be successful at crowdfunding.
Yeah.
And
I don't know, they might be doing, and they might be doing this a little bit differently, Iris, because they know that we did it in their normal terms and this is in the new world. So they might be trying to help you curb off time, but you do have to consider it might be right now quicker for you to apply for some loans than crowdfunding, because crowdfunding is not like the solution to the quick thing. It's not quick money. But it is really great way of letting your community know that you need their support if you have the time to put that together.
So offering, we call them 6-packs of meeting room credits now to use later. Was one thing that we were going to try to do, is just say, hey, we're having a rough time being transparent. Our revenue has cut in half, blah, blah, blah. If you would like to help us get through this, consider buying meeting room credits now, and then they won't expire and you can use them when we're back up and running.
Rachel from Make Lemonade posted in the Facebook her newsletter that she sent out, which I thought was a pretty good job of that as well. She gave 3 different ways that people could be involved in supporting them while they're closed. One of them, she has a product on these note cards that you can send note cards and they'll write them and send, I guess. And then they had their gift cards, and then they had some other way of giving. So she had 3 different revenue producing ways that you could support Make Lemonade while it's closed. So those are some interesting ways of getting your community to help pay for things while you're closed.
Agreed.
What about
she posted that in the community Facebook group. So if you are looking for that, go ahead and go to the Facebook group and you'll see it posted right there. It's one of the most recent posts.
I feel like there's a lot of good for us as space owners through all of these calls that are being put together. So I feel like our network of local businesses, there's information that could be put together and presented to them through a series of webinars and whatever we do. But the idea of finding the experts that understand those different things and coming up with the different topics feels a bit daunting and like a whole new business to spin up. So it feels like a lot of the same guidance and information, other than if you're getting specific, like this is in the state and that's that state for how to get funds. But a lot of the other general topics would be generic and relevant to any small business in any local community. So I was just wondering if anybody'd seen any crowdsourcing of content, or instead of all of us finding our own experts and doing our own research, like if there was a pool of that we could all tap into, and then, hey, let me present it to my local people when I bring them together virtually.
You're looking at it. That's
Yeah.
what we're doing right now.
That's what we're forming right now.
Welcome.
And the other group that I would say would be to connect with your, your local SBDC, of course, and equally as important, your local economic development center, if you have one in your area, and see if you can partner with them, because they're going to be really looking to support the small businesses. And then you've got a pitch for you being the expert on micro businesses and small businesses. And that is a relationship that can continue moving forward, throughout, even past this time. And that's a really good relationship to have. It's really beneficial to your members and makes you more of a valuable resource to your members when you have that relationship to your economic development people.
Yeah, so don't forget about your expertise and how you can market that. I had a client just book me to do a group talk with her and her client. She is a fitness company, and she says, I need help, and can you just do a talk on somatic techniques and do a meditation with us? So, how can you get paid, not just your space getting paid, but you're a leader, you're an expert, like how can you put yourself out there too, which could be revenue generating. And then the other thing I was going to share, if you're really looking for is there curated content out there? One of my members, some of you met her, Liz Daryn, she's got a company called Unink, the Unincubator, and they're launching a program. It's virtual classes. It's a campus for entrepreneurs, educational online classes with different types of experts. And Women Who Co-Work, Iris and I are actually speaking to her about a partnership so we can help you guys, members of Women Who Co-Work, get a good deal with them, because you have to pay a service fee, and then she will and then you give it to your members. And so you have a virtual membership that's $40 a month, and you're paying Unink $10 a person, then you can put it into your virtual, but you're not having to actually do the work. And so if Women Who Co-Work partners with her, we're going to get you guys some free months of that to just try out.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I always
stuff
thought
like
that idea in general, even before this, just general business education, the
Right.
ability to lift that and present it to your local community without having to find local experts, because that's a lot of work. I've attempted it a couple times and then stopped.
It's a whole nother business model, and that's
Yeah.
why people like her and Jenny Poon has done something similar. She doesn't have all of hers online yet, but she's got Cahoots Foundation has an educational component. So some of these people who are educators who've been working within the co-working movement but focused on curriculum, they are trying to get these products launched, and we don't have to you don't have the bandwidth to conquer that right now. You can't put together a teachable platform and get all the people together this has taken these people years, and now they're positioned to actually share that content with us.
Nice.
Right. And through the Women-Owned Collaborative Space Alliance, we are looking to build these partnerships right now and put together this syndicated content. So for those, I know we've got several members of the Alliance here on the call. That's something that Laura and I are actively building to get to our current membership, and then for the future members of the Alliance.
Yeah. And just FYI, that's $40 a month, and it's on our website. You can just go and join, because people get confused about what's what. So we have free membership, so all of you guys are members. If you're in the Facebook group, you're a community member, and for free, you can be on the website, you can do all the things. And then for $40 a month, that's where you go and upgrade into the Alliance. And that Alliance membership is where we work with all these partners, and we have included.co as a partnership. So we get you guys discounts on all these different providers that we're partnering with, similar to if Liz is still on there, Liz Elam of Juicy has a Juicy membership, and then Juicy and Women Who Co-Work also work together, so you get deals on each other. So it's the more you connect into these platforms, And nowadays, as we all look at collaborating even further in the online space, it's going to be epic. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I decided to join because I started to look at the resources when I was panicking, I don't know, 10 days ago, and found the resources to be so helpful and well thought out. Even the free resources that I realized, like, oh, I need to support this. Like, I really feel like you guys have our backs, and I don't know, like, you don't even know us, right? You didn't even know me. And all of a sudden I just felt like so much less alone in trying to, really build my business and succeed and make an impact in the world that I'm trying to make with our business. And I realized like $40 a month is not insignificant, but very much well worth building this kind of, supporting your kind of leadership and being a part of it. That's my little plug.
Thank you, Katie.
I just want to say I agree. I'm a member of a couple of different cohorts, and it's tremendous value for money. So thank you for everything you do. And if you're not a member, you should go sign up right now, right after this call.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you, Jen. We do. I mean, Laura and I have both been operators for 12 years, so we know how lonely it can be to be and isolating. It's crazy that it's isolating to be an operator, but it is, and we know that. And we also know that there's a lot of amazing business resources out there that are directed towards women, but co-working is so different. It's so unique, and we really needed a place for women to be able to gather in this way. And so thank you. We do pour our heart into this work, and we do believe in every single one of you, and are so proud of the work that you guys are doing in the world. And we want everybody to see it, and stop talking about WeWork, and stop talking about start talking about Katie Carlin and work and play. And so, yeah, we're excited about that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I will go ahead and set this up. For now, we'll continue to use the Facebook group, and I think it probably makes sense to have this all run through one thread on the Facebook group. So, Katie, I don't know if you want to use the thread that I set up for this initial call as the ongoing thread, or if we want to use a different thread there. We can I guess we can talk about that offline, but we will make sure that everybody,
I don't know.
Yeah.
To keep it all in one place.
We can make sure that everybody can get this. Yeah. Just because the conversations get so kind of out of control within, when we've got multiple versions of the same conversation going.
Right now, we might want to pin this up at the top and put maybe a fresh announcement of that we had the call, and then put all the comments, because this is really, I mean, people's need to apply is top priority.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Laura. When I upload this archive of this call, I'll post that, and that's where we'll start the new thread. And so I will try to get this this file rendered and uploaded onto YouTube and up today.
Awesome.
And get the new call scheduled. All right, any final thoughts, ladies?
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Daryn is gone. I wanted to get the background. Daryn's background was the one question. Did she say how she had that cool background in her Zoom call?
Yeah.
So crazy. Her hair was like flying in the wind.
Go into, let's see, where is it? I found it the other day, but then I couldn't.
How did you do that, Jen?
Jen just did it. It's a setting.
It's Cynthia too. Yeah. Oh my God.
Go down, ladies, go down into your taskbar down below, and where it shows the video camera, the little point up arrow is where you do that.
Choose a virtual background.
Yeah.
Oh, and so she had uploaded satellite test.
All right.
Yeah. So there you go.
Add your own. It's not too hard.
Yeah, she just took a picture of her space and uploaded it.
That was cute.
My teeth are green.
Oh, your teeth got some green. You got some spinach right there, Iris. That's hilarious.
Now they're red and orange.
It's not perfect.
Not at all.
Jen's got a plate of cookies. What's back there?
Okay. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Good luck.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Talk to you
Thank
soon.
you,
Okay.
everyone.
Talk soon.
That was fun.
Bye.
Bye. I'm going to stay here and watch everyone's background screens. It's so cute. Cynthia's on the beach.